Hello everyone. So I am back with a video. Have not done a video in a really long time, but I suddenly was hit by a wave of inspiration. I thought, why not make one today? So today's video is going to be all about journaling, and not only like why I started journaling this year, but also how I like to do it, showing you some of my spreads, I guess, and then lastly, the benefits I've really seen from it that keep me journaling. So to give a little bit of background, I really started journaling like pretty heavily this year, and I never have before. I turned the new year and I was just feeling very reflective and wanted to start something new for the start of a new decade. And so the three main reasons of why I really started, I have like my notes listed down here. First was to document my life and my emotions. I felt like a lot of the past few years, it's really easy to just kind of live in a blur. And I just, I'd look back on the year and I'd be like, I don't remember anything except for, what my snap memories and what my photos can show me. And I didn't want that to stay constant for the rest of my life. So I wanted a place where I could document, my memories and my emotions on a day-to-day basis. Second was an aesthetic. So, turn of new year, everyone has those really cool bullet journal videos coming out. And I wanted something like that. That quickly did not stay current. And then lastly was just something to look back on. So at the end of the year of 2019, I realized that I loved looking back at like the Snapchat memories and like how Snapchat makes your own like story for the year. And I wanted something like that, but more personalized to me and my thoughts and my emotions. And that's why I started journaling. So I've kept up with it actually this entire year. And now I'm going to move into how I do it. So I primarily do it in three ways, two of which I've done like the whole year, and the third one, which I picked up during the school year. I guess I'll just first talk about the three journals I do and then go more in depth on each. So the first journal I do is a to-do list journal. And that's actually this one that I have right here that I'm reading my notes off of. This was given to me during like the UNC Business School orientation, and it's actually been so nice. The second journal I've been doing every day is my 1 line a day journal that I got as a gift for Christmas from my cousin Michelle. And then my last journal is my actual like 2020 journal. This is my second one. The first one's at home because I already filled it all out. So now I'm going to go briefly into each one, like what I do in each one and how it kind of affects me day to day. So I think the easiest one to talk about first is just my to-do list journal. And this is the one that I didn't even start until the school year. So I started this journal, I want to say in September. So when school was really ramping up and I was recruiting for internships too. And I just felt like, sure, like I could put it on a to-do list on my computer, but I needed somewhere where I could just like write it down and cross it off and feel gratified. So that's when this journal came into play. So what this journal really looks like, I think this is a good example of exactly what the journal is used for. So I'll have a day and then I'll separate the day into separate categories of things I need to do. So in the case of, October 21st, it looks like I had a lot of recruiting stuff to do and only a little bit of school stuff. And what I did was I did this for basically every day. So if you look here as well, every day just separated out into categories and I'd like check them off as I did them. And what I did is that every night before the new day, I would make my to-do list for the next day just so it's kind of in my mind and I felt good that I let it all out onto the paper. And this has been super helpful for me during the school year, especially when I was juggling a lot of things at once. So recruiting and school and miscellaneous things. It was really nice to kind of section out my thoughts into coherent pieces and then be able to check those off throughout the day or, move it to the to-do list for the next day as well. It just helped me like stay sane and grounded during the most busy time of the school year. So that is my to-do list journal. The second one I want to talk about is this. So it's my 1 line a day journal. It's like as big as my head. Like I mentioned, I got this for Christmas and I thought it was such a cool concept. It basically is the day of the month 5 times. And the essence of this is to write a reflection of your day every day for 5 years and be able to look back. So I'm really excited to be able to kind of look back on each year as I write them. Right now I'm on the first year. And I'm so proud of myself because I've kept up with this the entire year. And it started out as just, I would write like a few words. But what I've really started using this journal for, which I really love, is I'll just literally just write like what I did that day. So like on May 2nd, look, I played 18 holes and got Bojangles and stuff like that. And when you're writing it during the day, I feel like, who cares about this? Like, I don't really care about this. I won't want to remember it. But the thing is, something I've really realized throughout the years is like, sure, I remember the big moments and like when I felt really bad or really good, but I don't remember the daily moments of every day. And I really wanted to document them and remember them in a way that was both meaningful and succinct. So this was the perfect journal for that. And I think this will be so cool to look back on in like 5 years or even just next year, being able to see like where I was a year ago and where I am that day. So really cool journal. Such a good gift. Thanks, Michelle. Now, the last journal I want to talk about is kind of like my huge 2020 journal. It looks really ugly because I didn't actually buy a journal. This is like some journal I got like from a career fair and then I just pasted this on top of it. But like I mentioned before, this starts in July and I have my January through June journal at home. This is only July until November. This is more like bullet journal style, and I don't want to say that because it's not a bullet journal by any means, because it literally like looks not very aesthetic. What it kind of looks like, my spread is the first day I'll have like a monthly marker, and I have little tape on the sides to show when the months are. And then what I started doing is doing monthly resolutions or goals. And so those were my resolutions for the month of July. What I do on the second and third page, what I really wanted to keep track of was like trackers for things that I thought was important to me, as well as consumption. So like being intentional with the books and the media that I consumed. So for the month of July, in this case, I had trackers for fitness and mood. And I also had a consumption page for like, the books I read and the movies I watched and things like that. Really, after that, it's just kind of a free-for-all, and I just treat it like a normal journal. It's just like all these entries. Whenever I just felt the need to journal, I would do it. And I didn't put much pressure on myself at all to like journal every day or even every week. Like, it's just whenever I wanted to, I do it. And so I'll give you another example because I recently have changed it a bit. So October, this is my October spread. See, it literally is like not pleasing at all, but I kind of like it. It's kind of like a kindergarten aesthetic, if you will. And so here it is. I have my resolutions for the month. And then I have my habit trackers again and my consumption. But something cool I did in October that I'm doing in November as well is I have something called one thing a day. And I know it kind of sounds like my one line a day, but what this was is that in October, I wanted to make an effort to like document memorable moments each day, like things that I would want to do if that was like my last day alive, not to be morbid or anything. But so this is specifically for just memories, whereas one line a day is just like what I did that day. So this is very specific to, just take you back to that moment, if you will. And it was such a hit for me in October. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is at the end of each month, I do what I call a monthly wrap. And that's been so nice. This is just the last day in my month. I'll just write like a complete stream of consciousness entry about how that month went, what I learned, how I grew, if I didn't grow, did I meet my goals, what are my goals for next month, things like that. Just dump it all on the page and then wrap up that month and start the new one. And this has been so helpful for me to just document my emotions and get some catharsis. And so yeah, those are my 3 journals. Now I want to go a little bit into just really quickly the benefits I've seen from journaling this year and why I keep doing it. So the first benefit I've really had, and I'm being dead ass, like I've actually experienced this, is manifestation. I used to watch these YouTube videos on it. I was like, that is some mumbo jumbo. Like there's no way that's real, but it's real. And I don't think it's really like spiritual or anything. It's just kind of being intentional with your thoughts and what you write and being able to deliver on that. So by having like, my monthly resolutions and monthly goals in my journal, I've seen that I direct my thoughts and focus more towards those areas during the month because it's just written in my journal. And every day I'm tracking that particular thing. And that's really helped me manifest goals in not only like academic, so this semester, but also really my fitness and third career. So a good example I like to give is like this October, I was really looking for an internship and I was really kind of anxious and worried about that. And so I wrote a lot in my journal about it. Not only that I was stressed and anxious, but also like manifestation. So like future tense writing. So I'd be like, I will get an internship that I'm really proud of. I am capable enough to do this. I can do it. And I kid you not, like I read back on some of those entries and I get goosebumps because like everything just aligned together and it all manifested. Of course, you also have to do the actions to pursue those tasks, but just like being intentional and writing it down has really helped me in all corners of my life. The second big benefit that I want to talk about is connecting the dots backwards. So this really refers to something that Steve Jobs said that my brother then told me that has like changed my life, which honestly, everyone knows it. It's like when you look backwards on your life, you'll be able to connect how each moment and milestone led to another. But when you're actually standing in this particular moment, you feel this uncertainty and you don't know what's happening next. But having faith in connecting the dots backwards, like you have your entire life so far, is what keeps me going. And so journaling has been the best way to see that happen in fruition because I am documenting my day-to-day life, my thoughts, my worries, my emotions. Like when I look back, I can see exactly why those emotions or like uncertainty was needed for me to be where I am now in this moment. And I'm so excited to look back on it at the end of 2020 and just see like how this year like shaped me into who I am at the end of the year. The last two things are kind of grouped together and it's kind of more emotional growth for me and myself. The first is gratuity, so being more grateful. I really wanted that to be like a highlight of my year this year because I think we're always looking for the next thing and I wanted to stay cognizant of where I am and be grateful of those things. And journaling has helped so much. It's not even like I'll be like, I'm grateful for XYZ every day. I don't really do that. But just like writing about my days in one line a day, looking back on that, as well as like looking at my month, it's really helped me keep track of like the really good moments of each month and each day and the small things that really add up to what this life is. And it's helped me stay really grateful and grounded in a year that has not been expected for anyone. The second thing is actually like learning more about myself. So I feel like this year I've learned a lot more about myself, more than any other year, just because when you journal, like I'll just journal and I'll start writing something. And then before you know it, you've like reached a conclusion to something that you didn't know you were thinking about, and you just learn things about yourself when you just write pure stream of consciousness thoughts. And so that for me has been so helpful in just learning about myself, like my emotions, what guides them, and just being able to spill that out on the page. I always feel better afterwards. So those two things have been extremely helpful for my emotional well-being and my introspection. But yeah, so this just about wraps up my video. I don't even care if no one sees this because it's a journal in itself for me. But yeah, this kind of wraps up this video on journaling, why I started, what I do, and why I keep going. I'm excited to look back on this at the end of 2020 and just see how far I've come. And I definitely will be keeping up with journaling like for the rest of my life, hopefully, for sure, because it really is super beneficial and I've seen tons of great things come from it. Thanks so much for tuning into this video. Hope y'all have a great day. Give it a like, give it a sub. Yeah, see ya.